lot of decisions. And then the other thing that I came across while doing all this is the, let me see if I can take it off here, is all the lighting. I have a lot of lighting in here. And the cord cables, I mean, I'm okay with this coming across here. I mean, they're neat and tucked away, and there's no cords hanging out like they were over on the floor. But like you see, I have an extra light here. I took the light off of the desk that was in here, and I'm thinking of putting this one down in that corner, because I need a light over here if I'm going to be working on flosses and stuff. So I have this desk one that I brought over here, and it's thinner and it fits. There's 3 levels to it as well. So if, you know, I can bend it down if I need to see what I'm doing. So those lightings, as well as the magnetized lightings that I have that go under the cabinets, still need to be figured out. But that can be another day's challenge. For today anyway, I'm going to take and put that in the craft or the spare room across the hall over there. I'm not crazy about having my sewing machines in a separate room, but because of it not being used and needing service, I think for a corner in that room it'll be fine. And I can use it in there as well, but I guess maybe I need to consider also, do I really need 5 machines? I love that it's pink and everything, but being that it's not serviced yet, and I've had it over 2 years now, maybe 1.5 years. And I am using the Singers that I have in here, so a lot of decisions in this craft room challenge. So we will get to moving that over there. I'll take some pictures and upload this video tonight so that you can see how it looks and what I ended up doing. If I end up getting the bookshelf down today, between all of my housework and grocery shopping, then I will probably come back on here and show you what that looks like on that wall. But I'll definitely take pictures. And we'll just keep at it. I appreciate you guys watching, and we will talk to you again maybe today, if not for sure tomorrow. Bye-bye. Okay, friends, welcome back. I just realized I thought I'd go ahead and just share what got done today. It was another full day in the Great Craft Room Challenge. I did other things around on the house as well, but it was intent to whatever was out there that needed to come in here in the hallway. So I'll pull the camera up here in a second and just share what I did with the sewing machine, what I did on this other wall. I actually got into some details, I guess you'd call it, of you know, finding my bobbins and threads and putting them where they needed to go inside of the sewing machines and things, sewing baskets that I have. I did clear off a shelf in the hall closet with books that came over here, so you'll notice here in a second the way the books are now, and then things got shifted a little. I was able to get the bookshelf out of the closet, so that's kind of where we're going to start, is here in the closet. So let me pull you off and we will get started. As you can see, I left the mannequin there on this wall. I got my ironing station in the closet. The bags, I decided to hang the what are these, scroll rods, a little neater. They were kind of all over the place. And then I didn't do a whole lot in here besides when I got the bookshelf off, I had to decide what's going to go on those shelves up here. So I went ahead and started to organize the paper shelf, which is all craft paper down here, cardstock, And then on top of this container is the vinyls and sticky board, things like that. And let's go up slowly. I don't want to make anybody sick. Oops. On this shelf, I've got an empty container, a sewing box here. This container over here, the green one, was in the other room, in the spare room. And it had cross-stitch hoop things. So I emptied it pretty much because I started putting things in the bins that I have in the craft room for cross-stitch. And that's what got me started on hanging my frames a little neater. These things here are just some patchwork games for knitting and crocheting and things. And then there's a 3D metal kit here of a coffee house. I ended up go ahead and put the medium-sized project bags here, tote bags there, and then the canvas bags are in that one bag right there. In the very corner is my sewing machine for my featherweight case, and then 2 knitting crochet type bags, and then on top of that is the vinyl bags that I had, Ziplocs as well as vinyl ones that zip. And then in those 2 containers I've labeled those yarn. There's blue yarns on the top, and that box under there is just things that needed to be mended. And then the rest of this whole shelf on the wall is all yarn all the way down. And then, like I said, the ironing station can be wheeled out when I need it. And I've got a couple empty pegs, and I can get to my silks on the wall easily, and any paints and craft type paints are up there. And then, like I said, these 2 bags are the ones that I use on the weekends mostly, so they're just going to hang there as well. I could even put the green one down if I need to, because there's an extra peg there. So let's shift over here. As you'll see, some lights come on and some don't yet. I'm going to go on Amazon and order a few more. But this one here is supposed to come on. I'm not sure why it's not. I guess there it comes. So I don't know if you can see that under there. I've got a light here and a light here. They're motion censored, so when you walk in the room they come on. I still have a lamp here as well as the one on the sewing machine, so I probably won't put one under there. And then in here I have 2. I need to buy another one for up there, and then this one, these are, you have to turn them on by hand. But if I need a light in here, I'll have it. I ended up putting, these were in the hall closet. They're just highlighters and markers and colored pencils. That one's empty, and then these ones are labeled with my 5.5-inch squares. I didn't change things up top. It's still got my diamond painting and frames up there. And I got to remember to turn that light off because it won't go off by itself. And then when you open this one up, the light will come on, and then this one you have to automatically turn on as well. So I ended up putting most of my charging lights and stuff into the cupboard so things were lit up. That took a little while today. And I already mentioned that I moved my featherweight over here so that I can put a chair here if needed. I cleaned the bottom drawer out a little more and decided, since this drawer doesn't open all the way, it was kind of hard to get in the very back for my flosses. So I put A through K here and L through Z here. And that way I can easily look for a certain fancy floss. That's where I keep those. And in the back I've just got empty containers, and these I might use like for floss away bags and things for flosses. So I've got 3 of them stuck down in there. And that's kind of what happened in that drawer. And I don't think I've ever shared, this side of the drawer is where I keep my cutter when I'm using sticky board and stuff. I just keep that under there. And then, oops, my plan for here on this surface when I'm sewing, is I'll put my wool mat here, and this can be the ironing station for this machine, so I won't have to wheel out my cart on this side of the room. But when I go to the other side of the room, that's probably what that cart will be used mostly for, or next to the big cutting table. Another big area of time today was spent on my, what do you call this, IKEA board. I don't think it's too heavy, and if I think it looks like it's gonna bend or whatever, I might start putting a few more things on this side, but I pretty much organized it with things that I would use on this side of the wall. Small rulers I hung up, so my ruler box is pretty much empty now, so I might use that for fabrics if I can find where I want to put some of that stuff. I found my labels and things, so that's going to get done. I haven't done that yet as well. The other side, like I said, I did both sides. If it looks like it's leaning, tell me. It's just fastened with, I don't know what you call these brackets down here, but they're pretty sturdy, so I'm thinking it's going to be all right. I pretty much hung all of my rulers on 3 different pegs, and then I put all of my, I have more ribbon, but these are the thinner ribbons that I could get on this rod, and then my measuring tapes up here, a few containers here, and some flashlights. I got a couple lights done down here. I still want to put one here, and then those need batteries, and I'm going to put one here. So every time I come over here, if I need a light, I'll have them on each level. Let's kind of move over here to the bookshelf. I'll share what I did over here. I kind of just took all of the boxes and things that weren't books off of these shelves, because when I went to the hall closet, there was several books and things, magazines. So I just decided to go ahead and use that unit for all books and magazines. So I just kind of focused on, like this one in the corner over here are all crafty type magazines and organizational books. The next section is all cross-stitch books. These are a few quilting books and some empty binders for photos and stuff. And the other one on the corner are rug hooking, as well as crochet, and a few quilting books and knitting books. All these up here in the next level are notebooks on the end, quilting books, as well as sewing patterns. I guess they're like applique pieces, as well as my knitting books actually are over here. They're not down there at the bottom. Just quilting and crochet were at the bottom. And then a few baby books when my daughter had her baby. I keep those there. A cross-stitch book that I can draw if I want to try to draw my own designs. And then these are journals from here all the way from here over. And then of course these are Pat Sloan's sewing patterns and magazines that I've printed. So I kept all this up here the same. This was on the top shelf over there, so I brought it over. It's beading supplies and one diamond painting, as well as my Liberty note cards. I've got a few fiction books in here that I'd like to read, so I put a basket of those there. My fat quarters are still there, and my 2.5-inch squares. A few different knickknacks that I brought over, as well as the same books here. So that's kind of what I did today on that section. So it's, like I said, been a full day of all that. moved a few knick-knack things around, played with the magnet boards to get them where I like them. And then over here, you're going to see what happened when we put the bookshelf out of the closet. Tell me what you think. This is just some crochet things. And then, like I said, this will be the charms and craft supplies in there. I had these spinning, I don't know what you call them. They're for yarn. And I haven't used them in a while. So with all the ribbons that I had, I decided just to go ahead and display the ribbon on 3 of the different ones that I have. I'm probably really close. I did go ahead and put my yarn winder here. You're supposed to leave the rubber band off when you're not using it. So this is the bookshelf that I was talking about. I put a light up there on the corner, as well as a few of these containers. These are mostly bookmarks. There's a few 5.5-inch squares here. This is still empty. I have not emptied these into those yet. Probably won't until I decide what are empty in these containers, because I can use those. Then the next shelf is mostly crochet, crafts, and bowls. And then on the very bottom is, this is an empty container that I want to use for a sewing box. And then my DMC and a couple larger books that wouldn't stand up. So that's kind of what that looks like. And it, like I said, it does fit on that wall perfect. Just fits. And that used to be where that sewing machine was at. And I'll share that where I put that in a second. I'm going to go ahead and set you down here. We're almost all around the whole room, but I pretty much just lit up the corner over here with some LED lights that I had. And up top, oops, sorry, is just some empty baskets if I need them for projects. And then my batting is pretty much up there. So that really didn't make too much of a change. And the desk, I don't think I changed too much on it. I emptied a few of the flosses over here. I took them out and I didn't share where I put those. I can go grab that. But that's what I played with the, over here I can turn you slowly. Played with the threads and things on the walls and made sure that I organized them properly. And then I had this basket that was given to me, and I just stuck it underneath where the sewing machine is. And I can share what I did there. I found all of my loose bobbins, a few large, oops, 8 o'clock, a few large spools, and I just kind of displayed all of my bobbins and stuff in here. A few extra buttons and things that I'll need to put away, but I just haven't done that yet. So I've got that on this tray, and it just sits under the sewing machine over here for now, and that way I can see where things are at. So let's carry you into the other room and I'll share where I put my sewing machine, and you can maybe make a comment what you think. If, like I said, I'm not sure if I'll actually use it right away until I get it serviced. I can probably oil it myself. And the lighting over here still needs one under here, and the one on the floor there needs to go under there. So I just want all these areas lit up. I brought in some tulle because that was an empty basket. So I still need to label this, and these are bookmarks in here in this decorative box. Just paper bookmarks and things like for your Bibles and stuff. So that's kind of where we're at in here. I'll share the hall closet also. Let's go here. Turn on a light here. I still have a lot to do in this closet, but you can see how much of it got emptied. I have my, I don't know what you call them, just craft yarn here, pom-poms. This is stuff that you, I don't know what you call it. They're like pellets and you can stuff things with them. And then I also have tassels in this one. and then some the stuff that you can make arrangements with. So that's all in there. So those will probably stay down here on this shelf. And then this box has all stamps in it. So I have quite a few stamps. When I do Christmas cards and things, I like to have that. So one of the challenges will also be that bottom shelf down there has a lot of crafty type things that I need to go through and decide what to do with. So that'll be another day. So that was another project today that I worked on. And then in here is where you'll see the sewing machine. This is my spare room, as well as my hooking and a few cross-stitch projects I keep in here because I have a stand in here. So right now my Mirabilia is in here. Fancy Lady, or whatever you call it. That's where I work on that one. And so this is the machine. Like I said, I opened it up just so that it's open and ready, that I can put some service to it. I also have a cross-stitch piece under there and two stands that I'm working on. One is for hooking, and then the project that I'm working on for hooking right now is up there. I just decided to open it up and have somewhere to display that for now. And then there's another hooked yarn project that I'm doing under there. So there's two hook projects and two cross-stitch projects in this room with the sewing machine. This all came, the pillows were in my closet, so I decided this closet in here has a lot of blankets and pillows at the top, so I want to try and figure out if I can use these space bags, I guess, for some of the blankets, and maybe just store all pillows up at the top here. If I can get in here, probably not, but. And then I did put Briar's toys in a box that fits perfect with her bike in here, and then on the very bottom box is more frames that I don't want to get rid of. So that's the plan for this room right now, is just storage, and then I hang a lot of my winter clothes are in here, and like I said, I'm thinking about putting all my blankets away. So this challenge has kind of moved out of the craft room and into all of the closets that I have going. So that was today's another all-day project for the Great Craft Room Challenge, but I really don't want it to be, I want things throughout my house to be in this room. I don't want it spread out all through the house, so that's kind of why I brought it to that level. So that's it for today, June 16th. I did change my number on my calendar. 8 o'clock. So I'll get this uploaded for today's challenge and what all got done. And we will continue with the labeling and the patterns that I have in the laundry room that need to go into all these books and stuff that I have now with all my patterns. Probably won't make a big what do you call it? Since today's the 16th, we still have through the 31st, I guess, to get this challenge done. So the bulk of it is done for me in the sense that I got a lot accomplished in the last 16 days that I'm very pleased with. I'm not even sure if I'm on camera. I think I am. But I'm glad that I started it, because now I can physically sit, and the chairs, like I said, that one rolling chair that I have can be put over there when I'm working on the featherweight, and then the two stools that I have underneath these I sit at to use these machines. So I might need to oil this one on the left. It hasn't been used in a while. I think this one's okay because these two are the ones that I've been using lately. It has been a good month though since I've sewn anything, so I need to just get back to it with all of my projects. I might even get back to sewing even before the end of the month. So the challenge might be cut short in the sense that I don't really have much more to do, because I've taken several days the last 3 anyways, and just knocked it out. Labeling all these and maybe organizing my fabrics can be the next week, and we'll see what happens at the end of next week. If we are going to be here this weekend, so I will go ahead and do a few days of labeling and things like that. But I appreciate you coming every day so far, and I hope to I mean, if you can think of something else that needs to be organized in just the tour that I gave you, let me know. I can't really think of much more. Maybe the crochet projects, organizing what's in those might be a good idea. And then that one green one that's in the closet has just, it's not craft things, it's more little containers, and there is a drawer that has like frames and things, so I might be able to pull some of those out of there and put them in the box that I have in the spare room, as well as the 2 boxes up there. Just kind of put things, instead of having them in 4 or 5 different places, put them in each of the boxes that I've designated for that. Probably don't have any more books around the house that I can think of. Like I said, I brought a couple fictional books in here, as well as my journals and magazines. Even the rug hooking books that I had in the living room came in here, so if I need a book, I'll know right where to go to get it. So again, thank you, and we will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.